Good morning, everyone. Is there anyone here from another Unity Church or Center? Is there anyone here for the first time? Raise your hand, keep it up. Okay, yeah, we have a gift for you. All right. Well, here in Unity of Boulder, we acknowledge the beauty of diversity, all the different expressions of God. So we actually embrace that truth. And we learn how to see past the limited ideas of the world in which there are these categories that people are put in. So we're going to learn how to be free in the beautiful diversity of God. And the talk that's coming your way from Syntysche is simply going to thrill you. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder, those of you who are joining us here in person and those of you who are joining us online. We love sharing some time with you every Sunday, so thank you very much. We've got a few quick announcements of some exciting stuff that's coming up here at Unity of Boulder. There's a few events here that we're really excited about. This coming Friday, we're actually having a psychic medium named Dominic Bogue coming here from Scotland, and he's going to be helping people through touching people they know who have passed. So it's just a real fun event. You can find out more about signing up for it out in our lobby. There's a poster for it. It's not actually our event, but so you got to get tickets through their website. And the same thing with another event. We're having a world famous spiritual singer, Sonatum Kaur, is coming here in September, and she's doing 2 nights here in this room on the 22nd and the 23rd of September. They are getting close to selling out, so if you want tickets for that, you better check out the lobby on how you can get tickets for it, but we're really excited to have, this is a big name in spiritual music, so we're real excited to have her here. Coming up in September, Syntysche is going to be restarting her prosperity class that she hasn't actually taught since before COVID, and it's finally time to bring this class back. This is Syntysche's speciality is prosperity teachings. She's extremely passionate about it, so if you've never taken one of her prosperity classes, I urge you to do so. It's a 5-week class starting Tuesday, September 5th. The classes go from 6:30 to 8:30. It's $100 for the whole, to sign up for the whole thing, and we do have the book she'll be teaching from. It's $16 in the bookstore. And last, not that, there. Today is our last day where you can go online and vote for Unity of Boulder to be the best house of worship in Boulder County. You can go right on our website and it'll click you right to where you need to go to Daily Camera. There's very few things that are this easy to do that could help Unity of Boulder grow than this. So please, if you haven't already voted, please go on there and vote. It helps us out tremendously and get Unity of Boulder's message out. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity today. This is the point in our service, which is a call to prayer. And we have little sheets in front of you in the pews in front of you. And if you have someone to pray for at this time, you'll write their name down. You don't have to say what they're experiencing in their life. We're just putting out to the universe to start bringing some healing into their life, and it's perfectly okay to pray for yourself as well. And you write the name on that piece of paper. And usually we have a prayer partner to collect the sheets. But you can just bring them up after the service, up here to our beautiful prayer box that has this light illuminating it all day, all night, every day, and it's prayed over every night by the prayer partners, and then for 30 days, then it's sent off to Silent Unity for another 30 days. So we see everybody healing, we see people whole, we see them coming back into their homeostasis and their joy and their light. And we sing this to call spirit into this room, which we know is always in this room, and it's within us. And we join you we ask you to sing it with us.
You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence
And so it is. Let's consider ourselves prayed in. Let's invite Rebecca Abraxas up, one of our favorite popular singers of Unity of Boulder. We're so happy you're here. Thank you.
Little braids dangled down, curled up like a ball, weeps into her little hand. She's feeling it all. She's feeling it all. Stands up bright as the sun, fresh as a new day. Her weeping is now done. Grief not here to stay. Grief not here to stay. Move through the day. Nothing is ever here to stay. Come through back to you. See what you can undo to come back to you. Fist clenched and drenched with rage, spitting words to defend, caught in his own cage. Peace will depend. Peace will depend. The scale, taking a new view. Hope is our lifted sail. Light is breaking through. Light is breaking through. Move through the day. Nothing is ever here to stay. Come through back to you. See what you can undo to come back to you. Climbing up the scale, taking a new view. Hope is our lifted sail. Light is breaking through. Light is breaking through. Move through the day. Nothing is ever here to stay. Come through back to you. See what you can undo to come back to you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Such a beautiful voice. So wonderful to have you open up the service. And we had a little technical difficulties with the lyrics, so hopefully we'll do better at the offering. We're a few people down right now. People are on vacation, so we all are covering for the different areas here. So there's room for failure, so hopefully you'll just work with us. Beautiful song, though. So today, my talk title is You Are the Answer to Your Heart's Calling. I wrote this sermon after lots of counseling the last 2 weeks, experiencing a lot of contrasting experiences for people. Some people are experiencing maybe a full resolve of what they had been planting seeds about all the way through COVID, and all of a sudden, like, everything's coming into fruition, and it's this really magical time. And I'm really happy for those that are going through that part of this segment at the moment. It's a very astrological thing that's happening. And then there's people that have been going through all of the COVID time, and now they're being extra pressured to go deeply, deeply, deeply into any last shadow that's sitting there to stand in the way of their true and complete unfoldment. And I can't say why there's those two contrasts, but there's usually a very consistent current. And right now, it was like every other counseling session where it's just like, oh my God, my life is finally, and the other one was like, is this ever gonna end? It's like, okay, all right, well, we'll be with that. We'll sit with that energy. So I know you have longed, and for many of us have longed for a permanent end to the hard questioning that has plagued us for a while now. Questions like, will I find what I am looking for? And will I ever be safe? And how can I get everything done? And does he, she, they love me? And what is the right thing to do? And is there enough money? And is there enough time? Are any of those questions fulfilling to you that you're asking to the universe? Yes? Yeah. So, it kind of covers the gamut of, in my opinion, what abundance is, which is having pure, loving relationships, having enough finances so that it's not keeping us from our peace and happiness, having ultimately pure joy and laughter, and enjoying this time of year, which should be peaceful and restful and exciting, getting out and about and listening to beautiful music and all the things that summer brings. But the reality is that our worry and anxiety arises from a lack of worthiness for these things to come about, from a deep sense of the divine spirit within. We have to know that we have to glow ourselves up into self-love. To glow ourselves up into self-love. So if we're feeling like there's things that feel like they're rigidly against us, and we're stepping into a reality that feels like every time you're trying to step into your good and something just seems like it negates that good to come into your life, there really is no outer person being experience that's doing it to us. It's just another opportunity to go in deeper and deeper to discover more and more of that love that we are. And that doesn't mean that it's easy, and that doesn't mean that there isn't grief when we go into those places, but I think there's another level that a lot of people that spiritually want to know their souls knowing this lifetime are getting to go even deeper, and it's not the most fun thing in the whole world. So when we stop trying to live up to the expectations of others, and especially the expectations of our inner critic or our inner judge, that is where true freedom lies. When we stop looking to the circumstances outside of us to validate that we're doing the right thing, or what we're being urged to step into is the right thing. When we're on a unity spiritual path, we're not looking to a God outside of ourselves to manipulate and change circumstances in our lives. All of these circumstances are actually completely and totally developed and brought on by our own soul as a frequency that's bringing up things that need more and more healing, more and more opportunities to visit shadows that no longer serve, to be in a place where we may feel very raw and very alone until we start to feel that wonderful, loving energy that starts to come in and through and move these things that no longer serve us. And some of us are more stubborn than others, right? Some of us are like, I just want it to get easy. We just want to force it. We want to affirm that something will change, and we might be able to say it in our words, but we might not be able to feel it and believe it, right? We have to have this perfect order of what we think, what we say, and what we feel, and what we actually really believe to be in alignment, to shift the things that might feel like they're adversary to what we actually want in our life. It is here when we finally stop listening to that inner critic, because usually when people are critical on us, the reason why it affects us is because we're so hard on ourselves. So it's just it's really a microphone to what is actually resonating within our beings, right? And so when somebody says something that might just be so off-putting, right, it's actually just triggering some sort of trauma response of something where we're not feeling like we are good enough or worthy enough. But when we can finally stop looking outside of ourselves for approval, when we can stop being that inner judge that judges ourselves so desperately, just to try to find the ills instead of the worth. I can't say why we do that, but we do. So it is here when we finally get there where we remember our soul song that sung us into this life itself. When we finally get rid of these critics that are within, that's when we start to remember the sound of the song that sung us into life. It is the song the universe orchestrated in perfect harmony with love itself that brought you into birth here. But I asked this question, and I wrote this actually from my own experience this week. If I was to come to understand that I was sung into this human experience by the harmonic current of love itself, then who sung the song of some of the main players that were to receive me into this life that have reflected something else? This is one of those 3 o'clock in the morning conversations that I have with Spirit. As you can imagine, I was in a really great place when I wrote this. If I was to come to understand that I was sung into this human experience by the harmonic current of love itself, then who sung the song of some of the main players that were to receive me into this life that have reflected something else or something different? Or worded in a different way, or who sung the first romantic love into my life that reflected something else? Who sung whatever damaging person that came into your life that reflected something else? The truth is, the same song that sung love into your life also sung the beings that adversely has challenged you, to help you discover a self-love within your own self that no one can ever take away. And to sit with that is to have to live in a complete state of forgiveness, regardless of the actions of other human beings in this world. And Edgar Cayce says that these adversarial energies that mirror something different than this perfection of this love is in divine concordance of your soul growth, how much you are willing to step in and completely value this light being that you are, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? And I've had many of those characters that have come into my life. I've had a husband like that. I've had many people that I can't mention in my life that have reflected something different than that love. So we can start to believe in the lives of people that significantly actually mattered to us, that have very big roles, maybe a parent, a spouse, a child, that adversely does not mirror the love that you know that you're extending and expressing. Does anybody have anybody like that in your life right now? And so the rest of you that didn't put your hand up, are you the ones that are having this amazing love bomb that's going on in your life? Well, good for you, because that's like 75% of you. So the rest of you, I'm with you, okay? All righty, goody. So if we don't keep laughing, people, we're just going to shrivel up in this experience, because this is a time to grow. It has been. I mean, we've just been in it to win it, and we're going to win it. We're going to do this all together, right? So obviously I'm speaking to the ones that are having more of a difficult time during this phase. So if we start to believe the lies that we are told by these significant others, these others that played a masterful part in our life, eventually we started to believe them and they became truths of ours. And they were probably things that made us feel small, probably things that made us feel limited, probably affirmations that made us feel unloved or not needed or not wanted. And I personally, as a mother, would pray that I never, ever will be that voice for my children. But I'm sure that I will be somewhere, right? Because we all get tired. We all get agitated. We all get in a point where the glass is just half full and we're just living off of drips and it's not enough, and we're not filling our glass with beautiful music, and we're not filling our glass with nature, and we're not filling ourselves with the things that God gave us to replenish us, like earthing and nature and friendship and laughter and dreaming and traveling and all the wonderful things God gives us, but yet we can get so stuck in a box that we might not want to get out of bed sometimes. Because we start to listen to that voice, that affirmation somebody said to us, and we started to believe that about ourselves, right? So in the 4 agreements, it says it this way. Misuse of the word is how we pull each other down and keep each other in a state of fear and doubt. Because the word is the magic that humans possess, and misuse of the word is black magic. We're using black magic all the time without knowing that our word is magic at all. Whenever we hear an opinion and believe it, we make an agreement and it becomes part of our belief system. Whenever we hear an opinion and believe it, we make an agreement and it becomes part of our belief system. The 4 Agreements is one of the most simple books for attaining peace in this world, especially in the human dilemma, as some people word it, right? You might have been born to the most loving, cuddling mom and dad, and you might have got the greatest lover the first time, and you're still married to that person, okay, and it's just this awesome life, and you have that. You just say thank you, right? And then for the rest of us, we have to find tools, right? So this is where whenever we hear an opinion and believe it, we make an agreement, right? So I had that experience this week with somebody that significantly is probably one of the most important people in my life. It's not my husband. And the word struck so deep, and it was given to me in 4 different ways through gossip of this person saying this to 4 different people, and it coming back to me. It hit me. It killed me. It devoured me. I hid in my office all week, still trying to counsel people while I'm in this state of, what do I want to do with my life? That's how much it hit me. Do I really want to keep working in a work that I have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into my shadow so that I have more and more to share? Can't I just go into a commune now and just be in the midst of, I'm feeling that, right? Do you all want to just come with me? Let's just go to a commune and let's just love on each other. Reflect that light. Let's eat organic food and just support. I'm about that. I'm this close, okay? So, and I had to be with those words that were repeated in 4 different ways from 4 people that I completely respect. And I had to realize that the reason why I was so demolished is because I believe that about myself. And I know I'm not that. But somewhere innately, I don't feel really great about myself still. It's just weird. It's like there's still another cycle of things that have to be healed. And this was another crash to the inner sanctuary for another Phoenix process, right? Another one that is being called. So I'm going to explain a little bit of why this time can be so tremendous for people, astrologically, and why it could be difficult. So Venus stations itself in retrograde on July 22nd, so a little bit over a week ago, at exactly 28 degrees Leo, where it will reorient our hearts until it pivots direct on September 3rd at 12 degrees Leo. That seems like a really long ways for me. September 3rd. All right, cool. All right. This... All right, Ethan, I just want to go into a wormhole so we can get to that day. This fixed fire sign gains its strength from creativity and self-expression as it simply wants to be seen and adored for what it has to offer. And that's why this particular retrograde could dredge up insecurities that have long held you back from truly opening up to someone or sharing your artistic prowess with the world. It will also encourage you to ask yourself if you are being loved in the way you need loving. Because chances are many of you have been starved of affection and that your heart needs for sustenance. The fact that so many breakups are unfolding at this time is one sign that Venus retrograde is doing what it came here to do. Let's not forget that retrogrades always resurrect what still remains unresolved. So, because Venus is the planet of love, and I'm a Libra, which is my planet, it's taking a number. You can expect exes and old friends to make a reappearance in your life, which can present you with the opportunity to forgive one another and find closure in your shared past. However, it could also lead to unfinished relationships that pick up right where they left off. So, and Venus retrograde can be just as beautiful as it is painful. So that's why some of you are like, you are really, really probably saturated, focused on something you wanted to manifest for the last 3 years. And all of a sudden, you got the job. All of a sudden, you got that partner you've wanted, right? All of a sudden, your finances just went off, right? So you might have been so superly doing such a good job to be channeled on a very good focus for the universe to support. But if you've been in a lot of different areas, and there's many places that needed to be resolved, that might have a bigger opportunity for some of this peaking energy to come in. So there are two camps here. Some of you might be finding the answers to your prayers right now. The other camp might be feeling pummeled by the other unhealed relationships with other and self. And it's interesting because I have had, coming out of the woodwork in these distant ways, old friends that fell away about 11 years ago. In this distant way, right? All of a sudden I'm hearing about people that haven't been in my life for 15 years that were core people of my life. And you know, when your life expands, things fall away. And it was an important piece. But it didn't mean you didn't stop loving these people. And all of a sudden I'm hearing where their journeys are, not necessarily directly. So it's saying you're going to be kind of brought back into some people that had a lot of meaning, and it might be an opportunity to actually finally heal what you left 15 years ago, or it's to resolve and complete totally. So there's a lot of opportunity here, and it's actually very exciting. But one thing we've been told is that conflict brings us to the edge of our resourcefulness. Conflict does, unless we are people that like to blame others. If we're good at blaming others, then we won't take any responsibility, and we will not be brought to the edge where we want to take our own responsibility for the unfoldment of this beautiful life that you've chosen this time. That is why the idea of embracing conflict feels so unnatural and even frightening. One of the most uncomfortable feelings is not knowing what to do or how to be when a situation looks and feels scary. Conflict is conflict because we don't know how to relate to a perceived threat in a way that enables us to feel safe and okay. When this happens, the well of our resourcefulness seems to run dry. This is from The Eye of the Storm, which is written by 2 Unity ministers, and it's a great book if you're working with some shadow stuff. It's really, really powerful, and it used the Unity principles to help us work through it. So this is an example that they wrote. Linda, a shy and insecure junior executive of an investment firm, hated her job but felt obligated to endure its drudgery because she needed the money. She often felt threatened by her boss. His manner was abrupt and condescending. One day she inadvertently offended a client who demanded that she be fired. Her boss, as expected, accused her of incompetence and demanded that she appease the client to do whatever it took to get the account back. The enormity of the situation caused Linda to retreat into despair. She feared losing her job and the security it provided, but even more she dreaded the prospect of meeting face to face the person who had it in for her. And those of us who've been through the experience of dreading a prospect of meeting anyone face to face is a real tell-all that we are being triggered more commonly by something that is deeper at the root of our being than the actual present situation that is at hand. Linda realized that this was not the first time she had felt threatened or in a situation which seemed overwhelming. The situation was reminiscent of 2 failed marriages that brought her to a similar crossroads in her search for wholeness. Moments before her meeting, she prayed for strength. She asked God, "What resource do I need in order to be in this experience without feeling diminished?" It occurred to her that what she was missing was a true appreciation of her own worth. So let's just take that on. Do we have a true appreciation for our own worth? Because I know in my experience, if I really, really deeply had that harnessed, these things outside my experience would not be able to shake me. So that's really the goal. That really is the goal, right? Appreciation of our own worth. The soul's purpose is to bring one into the fullness of being a creation of God in those areas of life where that is not happening. So when we find ourselves retreating, when we feel ourselves stressing about this face-to-face moment that feels against us and we have to now prove our worth to the human experience once again, when you've been living in it as an expression of God and the love of God, we have to know that in them there's an unhealing too, right? We can only take so much responsibility for the human doings in this world. When we're living in the truth, when we know the capacity of the kindness and the love that we harbor and we create in this world, nothing should be able to shake us. But early childhood traumas affect that wholeness. When something told us that there was something wrong with us, something that made us feel less than holy, less than perfect, that has such a bigger voice than the peaceful, healed heart that we've worked with in the heart, because we have to just keep going deeper. It seems like it's yearly that I have to keep going back to this. And it's the same participant that keeps wanting to do it with me. Thank you, God. It's frustrating to have those people in our lives, right? And can we still love ourselves regardless of those projections? In Answering the Call of the Soul by Paul Farini, he says this: "This is the world you created out of shame and fear. And now you must suffer the world that you made until you come face to face with your shame and your fear." And Brene Brown says, "Shame is the most powerful master emotion. It's the fear that we are not good enough." Shame is the most powerful master emotion. It's the fear that we are not good enough. We don't want it to be the most master emotion, but it has that kind of power until we really can get to the fact that we are enough, right? So I know we have all been longing for a permanent end to the hard questioning. This is what I read earlier, that has plagued us for so long. Questions like, will I find what I am looking for? And will I ever be saved? And how can I get everything done? And does he, she, they love me? And what is the right thing to do? And is there enough money? And is there enough time? If you can value your wholeness, the capacity of the love that you are, then all of these things will be added unto you. And every time we look to those things and they're still not happening, we have to look towards the resource that we're anchoring towards to find the answers to attaining all of that prosperity in this world, all that love, all that financial peace, all of that fun, all of that laughter, all of that joy. When's the last time you had a really good laugh with a friend? Right? That's the most healing thing. I was talking to my dad, and I was frustrated the other day about something. And he said something, and I just could not stop laughing, because we were just talking about the sarcasm, and it's the hardship of life. Some of those are the best funnies, are the things that are hard, right? Like when we can finally just laugh at it, instead of taking it all so seriously, right? Laughter is a huge, huge healer. So we can't give what we don't have, and you can't have what you don't give. We can't give what we don't have, and we can't have what we don't give. So if you don't love yourself, you will attract a partner who does not love himself or herself, and they will be as impotent to love you as you are to him or her. Neediness does not attract abundance. Lack of love does not attract love. You cannot manifest in the external world something that does not already exist within consciousness. That is true for self-worth, and it is true for love. So sometimes the Christian road looks easier, right? Because we can just go and we can say our sins and get rid of all those things. Even though we projected our spews on people and all those things, we can just immediately be forgiven, and we can ask God to fix these circumstances for us, and we can put the responsibility into some idea of a God separate of ourselves, and so that it will come in and swoop in and fix these situations. But when we're in a self-reliant relationship with this greater power, this greater love we call God, that's from within us, we have to take to task what we're saying to ourselves and what we're even secretly harboring, right? I didn't really think that depth was in there of sadness or unholiness till it was one time, 2 times, 3 times. Now the 4th time was the thing that was just like, are you kidding me? But then when you look at all those times it took, there was something about having to go there. I needed that reflection that many times to finally go, no, Spirit, that is not me. That has never been me. That was a mirror that was shown to me at a very young age. And that's why it gets triggered, and I don't have to have this as my experience anymore. This is not needed. This is not wanted. This is not necessary. I release it to the universe to be recycled, to be regrown into beautiful amethysts and crystals and things that are going to bless people. I no longer allow this reflection to be a part of my experience. So the thing we have to remember is that God does not punish us. We punish ourselves. We also punish our brothers and sisters in this world of the same blame and shame that we feel within ourselves. So that's if we're still very unspiritualized. I don't think that's what I do. I just go into a bed and I hide. So I don't let it affect someone else, something that I'm feeling insecurely in my life. But that's not what a lot of people do. The hurt body, right? Hurt people hurt people. And healed people heal people. Right? So to always still be a blessing even when we're in the state of discord and knowing that something is being moved and grown and healed into something more miraculous every single time we go into these pain places. There's healing to be done. There is something beautiful to be revealed unto you so that you understand the greater understanding of this spiritual realm that is moving in and through every aspect of life, and it's not always easy. But the universe is honorable, even though some days it doesn't feel so. Being impeccable with your word is not using the word against yourself. If I see you in the street and I call you stupid, it appears that I'm using the word against you. But really, I'm using my word against myself. Because you're going to hate me for this, and your hating me is not good for me. Therefore, if I get angry and with my word send all that emotional poison to you, I'm using the word against myself. which is kind of helpful when we look at the person that has spewed that thing that hurt us so badly, that we realize that they're in pain too, right? People don't hurt people because they're feeling great. People hurt people because it's like a call for help. It's a call for love, even though we might not feel like we have the love to give to that situation. So being impeccable with your word is the correct use of your energy. It means to use your energy in the direction of truth and love for yourself. If you make an agreement with yourself to be impeccable with your word, just with that intention, the truth will manifest through you and clean all the emotional poison that exists within you. But making this agreement is difficult because we have learned to do precisely the opposite. We have learned to lie as a habit of our communication with others, and more importantly, with ourselves. We are not impeccable with the word with ourselves. So finding those self-loving words, like I'm holy. I'm made in the image of beauty and love. I love myself. I appreciate all that I am and all that I give. I am a perfect child of God. I am the divine expression of Spirit itself, and I am here to be used and to be expressed this light and this love. And if you're going to throw something at me, I'm going to recognize that I'm here to help you. Remember this light and this love. And you. Thich Nhat Hanh says it this way: self-love is complete forgiveness, acceptance, and respect for who you are deep down, all your beautiful and hideous parts included. Right? And the more we even love the parts that aren't our favorite parts of us, the more we'll bring healing to those qualities and they will leave us. Because love is the harmonizing energy that heals absolutely everything, because we were sung into this life by love. And we're reminded of this beautiful life by showing love, being loved, feeling loved. So I want to take us into a meditation and just have us get it kind of quiet the lights a little bit in here. And our band's going to come out and play some music for us. Some of this language that I'm going to share right now is from Muji, who's an amazing spiritual teacher that lives in the midst of us right now. And also some of the language in this is from The Eye of the Storm. So let's just take a deep breath in. And out with a... And again. You are ever in the heart of God. Fall in love with yourself. For this self-love is not vanity, but it is the gift of life. Here, you are all. You are everything, and you are everyone. Therefore, there is no conflict. Don't become afraid of the mind or become entangled in its net. For even this will be only a play of illusion and delusion. But look what can bind you. From mind, innumerable suggestions of forms are offered to you, including the form of a personal self. But you are already complete. Relish your formlessness here. Marinate in your own being. Here there is nothing to attain, or to lose, or to become, or to change. For you are complete and without effort. These words are not effort, or nor even a compliment, but rather like a loving mirror in which your formless being is reflected to your great joy. And peace. Think of it this way. You have been given a bucket, but you don't know why. The riverbed is dry. The ground is parched, and nothing of value grows. But under the floor of your house is a spring. Sometimes you can hear it at night. One day, some water comes out of the ground, and you get your bucket and fill it up. You carry the water into your village and offer it to your neighbors. They are so grateful they offer you gifts in return. Then you say to them, "If this spring was under my house, maybe it is under your house too." So everyone gets a shovel and a bucket and finds her own supply. Now there's enough water to supply the whole village and to irrigate the fields so that crops can grow again. Now there's abundance, but where did that abundance come from? It came from being present in your life and finding the source. That is what each person must do. We may not feel loved, but the source of love is within us. If we look within with an open mind and open heart, we will find it for the spiritual treasure and the divine spark inheres in each one of us. Jesus told us, "What I can do, you can do and more." Why would the Master tell us that the source of love and abundance is within each of us, unless it were true? If we don't listen to the words of the Master, whose words are we going to hear? Would we rather listen to the cries of the wounded child and identify with him or her, consigning ourselves to a life of victimhood where life is suffering and never gets better? Is this the message we would choose to hear? The ego cannot save itself. The wounded child cannot bring love to itself. Love comes from a deeper source. It doesn't matter what we call it. Call it God. Call it Holy Spirit. Call it the higher self. Call it Tao or essence or Buddha nature. It doesn't matter. But whatever you call it, understand that if your heart is open, it is as near to you as your next breath. Yet if your heart is closed, it's as far away as the furthest star. So choose to know that it is as near to you as your next breath. All this depends on you and you alone. You are the one who stands at the threshold. You decide to open your heart or close it down. You are the one who chooses to bring love or to withhold it. Please choose to bring love. I choose all of you. I choose the center. And I choose this light and this love. And I thank you. Peace be with you. Love you.
So many beautiful thoughts to contemplate, take with us this week, put into operation in our lives, live from that higher perspective that we're all learning to expand and accept love. What a more magnificent message. So we have freely received, now we have an opportunity to freely give. To all of you that are watching this live stream, again, I offer to you the invitation. Show up on Sunday occasionally. You don't have to show up all the time, but we like having more of you show up and share in the energy that we feel here in this community called Unity. So give that some thought. And for everyone here and everyone out there, we appreciate your tuning in to these beautiful truths because it helps our world in every way. The more of us that embrace these truths, the more the world rises into the new heaven and the new earth. With that in mind, now let's bring into our hands that gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. Let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And so now we have this beautiful music to listen to again from Alexa Braxis.
Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. There is a guidance that I have. It comes with my emotions, all those feelings that stab. Each time they feel heavy and it hurts to the core. There's a voice that opens my next door. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Small steps have the power to bring me even higher. Between love and fear, I am a live wire. Pain over and over keeps me in a dark corner. Thoughts that give relief move me forward. I'm free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Let spirit have its way with me. I hand over my trust. What if what I think and say is the power I've always had to pray? Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Can I see a little wiggle? Can I see just a little wiggle? Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. It's easy, let's sing it along here. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. A few more times. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. One more time. Free to see another way, free to choose what I think and say. So rise up today. Rise up today.
right. Thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate you. I want to let you know we have prayer partners available to you today if you're facing a challenge or you'd like to share a joy. This is Sandy, and she's got her prayer shawl. She'll come and find you if you stay seated in the room when we're complete in the service, and she'll pray with you either in the sanctuary or down in the meditation room. We want to let you know that we have a discussion group that meets right at the back of the sanctuary, usually about 10 minutes after the service, and I will lead that. We usually just talk like a half an hour, so you're welcome to join that as well. Is there anything you want to share?
No.
Okay. All right, let's all close with I Release and I Let Go, and because we don't have a piano player, we're going to complete with that song, and my dancing buddy Steve's not here, so we'll dance next week. Here we go. Let's stand up. Singing. We have fellowship in the fellowship hall with food and coffee. Come join us over there and we'll all talk right after this service.